Hi guys, thanks for joining us. We've got Sacha Stone with us at the moment. Sacha is going to come in via live stream for our Speakeasy Ball that's coming up on Friday, next Friday evening, the 24th of March on the Gold Coast. And it's going to be exclusively for people there in person. Sacha, thank you for joining us.
Very happy to see you, brother. Very happy to be here.
And thank you for your kindness and hospitality in Bali recently as well. It's been much appreciated.
Well, I should thank you. I should thank you for cosseting my little ladies, my two poodles, and looking after them for a few days.
They were wonderful company. Thank you. Now, here we are at this interesting point in time that a lot of people have, including ourselves, have been speculating for a long period of time, as we are here with the early stages of the publicisation of the run on the banks. And I know we want to touch on a couple of things. I know you've covered off on a lot of detail already that we're going to cover off on the Speakeasy Ball, but I know that you've been very vocal about it. I think that's probably a bit of a bittersweet validation at this point in time.
Well, it is. And as I was saying to you a little bit earlier, it is a I told you so moment for people like myself and David Icke and you and the sort of the veteran frontliners, those of us who don't necessarily have all our own teeth or the same color of hair that we had 20 years ago. But nonetheless, it is somewhat gratifying, but at the same time, it's also horrifying, because the truth of all that we've been banging drums about for the last 20, 25 years is coming to pass. This is end game. It's serious stuff. It's the gravest existential threat that's ever faced humankind when you consider the hacking into our mitochondria by satanic forces operating through government, the Catholic Church, and public health administration all around the world. You talk about 5 billion people have been effectively inoculated or had genetic intervention or gene therapy introduced into their veins. What does that mean? The net result. I've just been literally sitting in our office here in Bucharest, sitting with one of the top medical scientists in the world, the woman who has actually created the full spectrum cure for spike proteins and treatment that can debilitate spike proteins and the replication of them, which is the big killer. And I was just talking with her a moment ago before we came on to you. And speaking to her about the knock-on, what are the repercussions of 5 billion souls out of 7 billion souls having received genetic mutation technology at the nano level. It's a science fiction novel, Paul, that has not yet been written. It's a Hollywood script from the fucking, Boris Karloff basement of Frankensteinian logic that we haven't yet seen in this world. So let's brace ourselves what to say. It's happening, it's in real time, but it is the geometry of now. And we were born as living sons and daughters of God to navigate the geometry of now, wherever we find ourselves, in whatever situation. And as long as we actualize and seize the moment, carpe diem and all of that, and stand in grace and honor and become fearless, which is our true legacy, our true birthright is to become completely fearless in the shadow of death, in the valley of death. I believe we're going to prevail. And I believe that we're going to see the most extraordinary emergence coming through this within the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm. And you've spent a little bit of time in the US recently as well. What's the mood and the sentiment there at the moment?
Well, I was in the heartland of some libertarian, liberal, intellectual dystopia. I was right slap bang in the middle of Hollywood. So fantastic. What can I say? I mean, my friends in Hollywood are very, very in tune with what's going on. But they're a very, very isolated group. But the sense is, in a way, that they're under siege, that the east and west coast of America are under siege, that the pulse of Middle Earth, the pulse of Middle America, the good Bible clutching, gun wielding Middle Americans, and that common pulse of humanity that prevails in America is about to stagger to its feet. And as it's doing that, it's shaking the devil off its back. So all of the hubris of our culture the political corruption, the consumerist satanic pornography of the high street and of mainstream media. All of that is, I think, being shaken out of the tree. And I think we're going to see, again, in the next 2 short years, is my prognostication. In the next 2 short years, I believe we're going to see a complete renaissance at the psycho-cultural, civilizational, spiritual level. And it's a good thing. It's a very good thing.
We've been working with clients for the last few years about getting control of their superannuation, their 401k, diversification of assets, minimizing their risk and that sort of thing as well. I know that you've got in mind some strategy and for preparation for people moving forward, some thoughts around that as well, Sacha.
Well, yeah, in the first instance, stop paying personal income taxes and stop paying off credit card debts and things like that. That's all bullshit. All of that money's been discharged against your birth bond anyway by these fuckers standing in between you and your treasury bond. So don't be paying off those debts like mortgages and pensions, mortgages and credit card bills and the rest of it. There is a way of flipping all of that stuff in your favor. Now is the time to move. They would have sent jackals out to shoot me in the back of the head 3 years ago for saying this, broadcasting it. But now the jackals are no longer operating at that level. And there's no one with a finger on the trigger. And I'm smart enough to know that. So now is the time for people to stop paying coin to Caesar. Pay your business taxes, absolutely. Otherwise, the marketplace will close down and that will fuck you on every level. So that's an important piece. But really, in terms of mitigating your life savings, in terms of mitigating all of the value of your time and motion and energy that you've deployed, which has become a pile of digital phantom numbers in something called a bank, I suggest you move those phantom numbers the hell out of that phantom bank right now. Do not delay. Yes, it's called a run on the bank. Fuck the bank. Why are we concerned about the banks? Get your money out as quickly as possible. Anyone who thinks that their money is going to remain safe in a bank on the onset of the greatest calamity, economic calamity in modern history, you're a damn fool. You're going to lose everything. So, of course, you should move money out of banks. We launched the land banking micro-investment vehicle in Mexico, in the Mayan Riviera and the Yucatan, which I spent 1.5 years setting up that vehicle. And we've got a gold rush happening, Paul, just to let you know, in the last 10 days, 2 weeks, a gold rush. People are absolutely flooding and we can't handle it. It's extraordinary. I'm having to staff up, probably quadruple the numbers of staff in the next month. I'm flying back there in 3 days' time to help restructure our own capacity to receive so much opportunity of micro investment. Why? Because we've spent 1.5 years identifying prime agrarian land, the best possible land, titled, zoned land with great density and, primary water, place of exceptional natural beauty, and of course in the custodianship of the New Earth Project. So all our teething problems are behind us. We're doing land banking. I'm doing land banking. We're offering it to people from around the world. And Mexico is just about to join BRICS by best accounts from the forecast that we were reading yesterday. It's all good. There are certain opportunities. This is what I'm trying to say. There are certain opportunities right now that if you are fleet of foot and sound of mind, you would be very, very well advised to take whatever resources and assets you have accumulated. Again, phantom figures in phantom banks, move them now and dock them into tangibles. Dock them into tangibles. Yes, metals to some extent, but land is the key thing. Agrarian land. Anywhere in the world, agrarian land, arable land that has a primary water source is in a place of beauty. And that's the premium. That's what's going to see through catastrophic failure of the world economy. And that's not Sacha Stone speaking. That is that was taught to me, as I've been telling my audience for the last few weeks, by Professor Bernard Lietaer, the man who created the euro and then lobbied against it the day it was launched as a permanent currency, because he'd warned Brussels, do not launch the euro convergence mechanism as a permanent currency. It is designed for 15 to 17 years and it will implode. But they ignored him. And on the day they announced it as a permanent currency, he was horrified and he resigned from the commission that day and lobbied against his own creation. And he he used to stay in my home before he died, whenever he was attending summits and conferences in London. And it was Bernard Lietaer, the magus of global economics, who taught me in my living room over a few years how we need to move through a depression or a global economic calamity. And that's what it came down to with him. He said the source code is just one thing will see its way through. Not necessarily gold. Gold to some extent, yes, but be careful where you keep it. Watch out for the gold run. Watch out for the gold grab. When governments choose to do the gold grab on the eve of war. Number one, they conflate the idea of war, and then they make a gold grab, and then they set the price of gold again. So in a way, watch that one closely and be sure that you know where you're sequestering your gold. But the key thing is arable agrarian land with primary water in a place of beauty, natural beauty, a place actually where you would want to live, work, and play. That's what we're doing with the New Earth Sanctuary project in Mexico, which is a vast project that we're building up for thousands of people. And it's heaven on earth. That's what I'm recommending people all around the world do. And if anyone wants to jump onto the micro investment opportunity, now's the time.
And how do they get the information? Is there a website or something to access that information?
Yeah, we've got a very big team now. We're just cranking up. Like I said, I'll be back there this weekend to tool up even more. But we can put in the bottom of this. We'll put the link. I'll have one of my team send it across to you imminently. Wonderful,
thank you. So I look forward to you sharing the message with us at Speakeasy Ball coming up next Friday on the Gold Coast, 24th of March. And I look forward at some point in time, I hope to see you in Vegas in the US come this August. If
Great, I'll be there. I think I'm doing the Clay Clark's Awakened America spectacular, the grand finale. I think I've been invited to do that. So I intend to go to Vegas for that.
Fantastic. I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks for joining us, Sacha Stone.
God bless you, Paul.
Thank you. Much love.